What is the IRR of the following set of cash flows? We can solve for the IRR in three different approaches. 1. Trial and error. 2. Using Excel. Or 3. Using our financial calculators. First, let's see how we would solve this problem with Excel. To solve this problem with Excel, we simply use the IRR function. The form of the function is equals IRR parenthesis, and then we enter all of the cash flows. Notice the initial cash flow is entered as a negative amount, and the remaining cash flows are all entered as positive amounts. To solve this function using our financial calculator, either a TI-83 or a TI-84, we use the following function. First, to get to the IRR function, we would need to press Apps and select the Finance menu. Scroll down until you see IRR, then enter the function as shown above. Notice it is IRR parentheses negative 19,500 followed by a comma, then bracket $9,800, comma, $10,300, comma, $8,600, close bracket, close parenthesis. After you've entered the function, enter alpha plus solve, and we find an IRR of 22.64%. Another way we can solve for the IRR is by trial and error. The first step is to select an interest rate. Let's go ahead and calculate the project's net present value at a 10% discount rate. We'll first calculate the present value of each of the cash flows. The present value at the time 0 cash flow is $19,500. The year 1 cash flow should be discounted back one period at 10% interest. The year 2 cash flow of $10,300 will be discounted back 2 periods at a 10% interest rate, and the year 3 cash flow of $8,600 will be discounted back for 3 periods at a 10% interest rate. The next step is to sum the present values from years 1 through 3, and we get a total present value of $23,883. To calculate the net present value, we take this $23,883 present value and subtract the initial cost of $19,500. We get a positive net present value of $4,383. This means a 10% discount rate is too low. We need to select a higher discount rate. Let's go ahead and calculate the net present value at a 20% discount rate. Again, let's go ahead and find the present values of each of the cash flows. The initial cash flow is $19,500. The year 1 cash flow will be discounted back 1 year at a 20% interest rate. The year 2 cash flow will be discounted back for 2 years at a 20% interest rate. And the year 3 cash flow will be discounted back 3 years at the same 20% interest rate. When we sum together the present values for years 1 through 3, we get a present value of $20,296. When we subtract the project's initial cost of $19,500, we find we have a net present value of $796 when our required rate of return or discount rate is 20%. This means we still need to guess even higher for our required rate of return. Let's go ahead and calculate the net present value at a 25% discount rate. The time 0 present value again is $19,500. The year 1 cash flow will be discounted back 1 year at 25%. The time 2 cash flow, 2 years at 25%. The time 3 cash flow, 3 years at 25%. And when we sum together the present values, we get $18,835. Once we subtract the initial cost of $19,500, we find we have a negative net present value of $665. This means that our 25% interest rate is too high. We would want to select something in between 25% and 20%. We would keep proceeding with our trial and error. Had we selected 22.64%, we would get the following present values. Time 0, negative 19,500. Time 1, 7,991. 6,848 at time 2. At time 3, $4,662. When we sum together the years 1 through 3 present values, we have a present value of $19,500. To calculate the net present value, we would subtract the initial cost of $19,500 and find our net present value is 0. This means our IRR is 22.64%, the rate that makes the net present value 0.